All right, welcome back. Today we have a very special guest. You might recognize him from the Hulu series Under the Banner of Heaven in the role of Brigham Young. And we've got Scott Michael Campbell here to talk to us about that series. Hey Scott, how's it going?
Great, Courtney, how you doing? Hi Salt Lake.
Hi Salt Lake, and you said you were wearing a Salt Lake City shirt as well, right?
Yeah, Voice of the Vanishing. These guys are from Salt Lake and they make streetwear and save elephants and animals.
I love that. Way to represent. So we have you on today to talk a little bit about this series. For people who aren't familiar with it, tell us a little bit about it.
Under the Banner of Heaven's a 7-part series on Hulu that's based on Jon Krakauer's novel of the same name, predominantly about the 1984 murders of Brenda and Erica Lafferty that took place in Utah. But within the body of the show, they jump back to historical scenes with Joseph Smith, Emma Smith, and Brigham Young, Porter Rockwell, and that's where I come into the project.
So let's talk a little bit about the process of auditioning for the role of Brigham Young. What did that take?
It's like any other, the auditioning was like any other job, but basically just reading something, but then meeting Dustin Lance Black, who's the writer, producer, director, who grew up in the church as well, and meeting with him. And after that, it was gangbusters. Went up to Calgary, and the makeup for Brigham was 5.5 hours long, and there was obviously a lot of research that we all did.
Yeah, our producers asked about the makeup because it is quite a transformation. So you said 5 hours to get all of that to where it needed to be. Well,
Brigham Young, he ages 46 years throughout the course of the series, so there was 3 different stages. But yeah, it was 5.5 hours when we finally hit his later years in life.
Well, that's nothing for us in television. You add 1 more hour and then I'm ready to go.
Oh, you don't do 5.5 hours, Courtney.
No, it's a little less than that. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about the research that went into this. What did you do to understand your character?
Well, as you well know, there's quite a bit of research or material on Brigham Young and Latter-day Saints and the Mormon faith. So myself and the other actors that were in the historical sequence especially, we just consumed everything. Obviously the novel by Jon Krakauer and the scripts, but reading the Book of Mormon, Doctrine and Covenants, Pearl of Great Price. I read a lot of stuff by Leonard Arrington and his son James Arrington, listening to testimonies of Wilford Woodruff. There's a lot of websites, the churchofjesuschrist.org. Mm-hmm. So we just kind of consumed as much as we possibly could. It was impossible to get everything down, obviously. Right. But yeah, it was. We kind of did a crash course in Mormon faith.
I mean, it sounds like you definitely did your homework. What stood out to you, or what surprised you about what you learned?
Kind of everything. I mean, I'm speaking tonight at down in Sandy at the Mountain American Exposition Center for my friends who was actually a consultant on the show for sunstone.org, and we're talking and doing a question and answer thing. But one of the things that I realized is that the Latter-day Saints, the Mormon faith, all these different factions of the church, it's just unknown to a lot of people. So I kind of went, as somebody that didn't know anything about it, I kind of did a crash course. And it's not just the history that goes into Latter-day Saints, but it's also how it's tied into obviously American history and the settling of Utah. And so it's just massive, all the stuff that we kind of learned and went through. So it was educational, to say the least.
It sounds like it. I mean, and it looks like an amazing series. I'll admit I haven't gotten to watch it yet, but I watched the trailer and you just get goosebumps watching it.
It's a crazy story, yeah. It's definitely a very intense story, but I highly recommend checking it out.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Scott. And for more information about his work, you can go to the website you see right there on the screen. And good luck tonight as the keynote speaker at the Sunstone Symposium.
Thanks, Courtney. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.